on there. There we go. There we go. We had to reset so many things before starting stream tonight, and we forgot about the microphone, obviously, because that's not important. Had to reboot the whole computer just to get the camera to play nice-ish. Oh, not turning that on. See, we not been feeling 100% today. A little bit grim. A little bit, tiny bit grim.
Hello.
Hey, what? How you doing? Oh, yeah. Mm, mm. Tiniest a bit of grimness and yeah. Come to start up and it's like nothing wants to play nice. The whole world does not want to play nice. Well, the whole streaming world not want to play nice. Let's get that screen up and then we'll be good. What are we up to today? It is last stream of the week. Next week there will only be streams on should we collaborate? That sounds risky. Um Leaving you again. I am abandoning world. Running away. That's what I'm doing. Running away. Um you're gonna try. You're gonna try what? You see, honestly, if I click yes on that, I have no idea what's going to happen because I don't have it set up on OBS to pull it in. Um, so look, if I click accept there, it's probably not going to do much because I don't know. I've literally not got a scene set up. So it's probably gone, oh, you can do something somewhere. I don't have a clue what it's meant to do. See, it's just popped up again. There you go. Um, I don't, yeah, I've not got, I don't think it's because I think it's because I've got to have a scene set up to pull that video in and I don't. So I don't think Twitch just does it automatically. I think I've actually got to have that set up in my OBS to, no? So I mean, I've clicked accept. I have no idea what that means, what that does now. That doesn't seem to do anything that I can see. You're not going to appear on my video because my video is on OBS and I've got nowhere for you to appear on it. There'll be somewhere in Twitch settings a source I would have to pull in to bring you in. That's what that is.
Hello.
Colleen, how you doing? So yeah, so somewhere I would have to go through all the settings and go, here's the source to use when you have someone collaborate. And then you pull that in and it comes as a source on your video and then you send it back out again. And I don't have that set up. It's basically what it is. It's not just done at server side on Twitch. I know that much. So the other way around, I could probably send my stream onto yours if you're set up, but I'm definitely not set up for that. I think, as far as I know, it's one of those. It's one of those. It kind of gives you a half idea of what it's going to do, but it doesn't really tell you. I think right now, Ewok, I'm going to give that a miss, and I'll have a look at how you actually set up collaborate things to work. Because I think it's somewhere in the Twitch settings I've got to actually create a source in my software that will that collaboration scene will push into. I think I might be completely wrong, but that's my understanding. It has, on rare occasions, been known to be correct that I'm completely wrong. Yeah, so you have to set up scenes on OBS um, for that collaboration to work. It doesn't just magically happen. You've actually got to prepare your streaming software to allow that to happen. I've not set mine up, so even though I've not turned off the request to collaborate feature on Twitch, I've not set up to make use of it either. Just wondering if snipping those corners will actually make this sit a bit better. I think it does. So what we're up to today, we've got a tray full of small pendants waiting to go onto that one there. There we go. And we've changed the camera angle. I don't know if I'm going to like this or hate this. It could be very much in the way. I put the camera between me and the lathe. It'd be a completely new angle for everyone. We're going to find out in a second. Kind of weirdly, the preview make collaborating quick and easy. I bet both of those words in that title are in fact lies. Probably ought to say make collaborating painful and far more difficult than it needs to be. Actually, no, the click to join, yeah, that's the clickbait title. Absolutely. So, two good things happened today. Well, ish. First of all, I've actually got the new oil for my vacuum pump. Not that we're doing any vacuum work today, but it means that we can get that changed over so it is ready for the next time I do need the vacuum truck. So that's good news. And secondly, we've obviously gone for the most important one first in this statement. And secondly, I've ordered a new 3D printer. I've ordered a new 3D printer. This is kind of weird because the actual video from the phone is not as zoomed in as it looks on the phone screen. Go figure. There we go. Right, top angle, front angle, looking okay. Need to locate my safety glasses first. There we go, glasses on. We are going to switch across to that layout instead, though. Look, toolness here. It's a different angle. See how fancy we get. And before I actually start turning anything, we need to go and turn off the heater because that will overload the power supply and just get things melty and hot. We don't want melty and hot. Let's get going. We've got a few of these to get through. See what we think of this angle. Both for you to look at and for me to work with. That camera sitting right there. A big thumb across the bottom of the screen. I think I said there were about, is it 12 of these to do? Actually, 6. You see a call if lost an accident involving which type of vehicle? Aircraft? Submarine? Space shuttle? Oh! 1986 Challenger, I guess. Yeah. 1986 could have been the giveaway on that, I guess. I bring up the other camera. Hmm. Does that have? That was on before. Why is that not on now? Just another thing, not playing nice. I'm not going to recess it. It's fine. What do we think of a kind of weird top-down angle? Those edges taken care of? It's interesting because with Ewok trying that click to join in feature, which is automatically enabled that on everyone's accounts, without, and it's told everyone about it, but I bet most people have never set it up. I'm sure some people have, but I bet most people have never set it up and it's still got this not to join feature showing that they can use. Let's have a little look on that one. We are looking fine on the resin front there. Edges are nice and clean. Yep. I think we could start sanding on that one. It's also, I mean, I saw the notification saying so-and-so would like to join, but it didn't change the fact that I've not, it didn't make any sounds, no. It just came up as a notification bar, a bit like the raid notifications and the hype train notifications. And it gives you about a minute to accept, 90 seconds, something like that. But you've also, I mean, if you know someone's going to say, I'm wanting to join, that's all well and good. No, I clicked accept and it just did nothing. So literally, to actually do anything, you need to have pre-prepared your software. You need to have already set up the source for it to go into. And then, okay, and it worked. It did something. Or did Timber have to create a scene to bring him in on? Yeah, so I would need, I guess, to create a video source on or a HTTP source or something on my stream. Um, that would probably sound about right, although it depends on how your stream's set up as well, slightly. So I think for me to set that up into my stream's running on a single scene in OBS, and then it's using the Stream Deck to move bits around. So I would need to integrate a source into that system that I could then turn it on and off and everything for it to more than just work. To go beyond just having the video working on the stream, I would need to do a little bit of work on the actual setup. I think that's what I'm trying to say. I think that's what I'm trying to say. Yeah. Well, see, and that would be problematic straight off because I don't bring any desktop audio into my stream. So I would need to bring that in some other way. So I'd need to create a separate audio source for that to even work. I'm not entirely sure I like that angle on that camera, this top camera here. It seems a little bit weird. Maybe it's just that I'm not used to having it from the front like that. So yeah, next week we will be on Tuesday, Wednesday, but then Thursday there will probably be on Twitch only a heading to and setting up. I'm not actually checked the setup details. I'm assuming the marquee that we're in for the weekend. The market I'm doing is a Friday, Saturday, Sunday event. I'm assuming there will be a Thursday afternoon setup period so that we can just turn up and start selling on Friday. But either way, I'm heading over on Thursday to Nottingham. We'll probably stream. Yeah, I think with a little setup, it will be absolutely fine. I've just not done it, and I don't want to be trying to do that now. It's something I'll have to look into and get prepared. I know I clicked the allow people to join type button. I did press the collaboration settings button there and go with it, but I never went beyond looking at anything else on it, which is probably a bit silly. I probably ought to have actually looked into how it works beyond that. Yeah. It's really slightly weird how the preview on the actual camera is quite a way off what the camera's doing. Anyway, we'll get used to it. It's probably always been like that. I just never even noticed it before. You usually can't see what's on that camera's preview. One. Both those done. So that one is the first of our mini pendants. See how different an angle those two cameras are on now. Up until now, we've held it like that, and both cameras have sort of seen something of what's been on. There we go. Number one of today's batch. We have got a whole. Was it 3 of these ones here to do? But they've not got the tape on the back yet. I need to tape them up ready to go. The colour ones are all taped, ready to go. Just going to drag those out. 3, 4. So we've got the 5. Got these 5 here. Oop. These 4 here. Where did that one drop to? It's on the floor somewhere. Good to go. And then I've got the 3 colour shifty ones. It says it's on the floor somewhere. Where did that even go? I actually have no idea. I've just dropped one and I cannot even see where it's gone to. It's never a good start, is it? Where on earth did that just land? I know it didn't go down with dust extractor. I'm fairly confident it's not going to a dust extractor. But where it has gone, I have no idea. I wasn't holding it near that, so it can't have gone there. But I cannot see it at all on the floor. That's weird. That's really weird. I mean, I say weird and really weird, but we have a history of things just disappearing into nothing. Right, let's get the next one taped on. We'll worry about the missing one later. It's obviously landed somewhere at a different angle to I'm expecting to see it. I did say I had 5, didn't I? Not 4. I have a... fairly sure I had 5. I'm losing the plot. You see, I've got 4... No, I must have only had 4. I've not lost 1. Because I only had 7 from the cast, and I've got 3 turned, which means I must have had 4 more. Yeah, I'm just losing the plot. That's all it is. There's nothing wrong at all. We just don't know who I am, where I live, what my name is, anything like that. That's all it is. Nothing to see here. Move along. Saturday's market is a Christmas lights switch on. It's one of my regular markets, and they always do it so that this Christmas light switch on in that town is on the market day. Hi, who am I? I'm Owen. So I said, this was copy Owen underneath. Yeah, me. Keep it nice and simple. Welcome in. It says first time chat. So either that means you've never been here before or you've not been here on this account before. Either way, welcome. Good to have you here. Sometimes Twitch just lies as well. There is that. So let's get this one mounted up. Let's go with the light yellow one. Quick celery spray on the back of it. And chunk it on there. It's good. Try and get it as even as we can. Which maybe isn't very even, but it's close enough. It'll do. It'll be round by the time we're finished. It will. It's literally the idea. Literally how this thing works. It's round by the time you finish it. Right. Why are you not working on that camera? Let's just see if I can pull that other camera back in again. Um, it is there. It's not looking anywhere useful. Yeah, this is going to be the problem. That camera up there, it's a pretty big camera in the way now. If I move that further out of the way, it doesn't see what we want it to see. Hmm. It's almost like he didn't think this through. See, that's what it is. It's almost like he didn't properly think this through. Let's just stop that lathe for a second. Let's not move all these things around. Let's pop you up there. Means we can come into there. And you're not quite so much in the way of this camera up here now, which
Hello.
we can move down a little bit. We can zoom that in a little bit. Sure we've got the right camera selected there. Put you in like that. Then we can pretend there's not another camera just above it, you see. It's all good. Right, let's get that turned. The hardest part of choosing where to put cameras is actually trying to not put them so they're in each other's way. Even now, it's still got the bottom of this just in the shot, but it's not too bad. We'll cope. Get it round there. Oh, that's stringy resin. First of all, it's nice and clean. Oh, not quite clean. There's a little bit of resin on that wood still, I think. Or is it? Is that resin or is that edge of wood? It's hard to tell. I'm going to leave it. I think it's the edge of wood. I think it's the heartwood. Right in there. Sand that one up. Sometimes you look and you initially think it's one thing, and then you look again and realize how wrong you were. It's definitely not resin at that edge there. That's fine. Some, in there. Spin for a little bit. Hopefully at the end of tonight, the plan is we get these done first, which shouldn't take too long. And then as we get into the end of these, we'll do the buffing. We'll get a set of the pieces for an extra resin pour into toast oven, get them nice and warmed through, dried out, and all that good stuff. And we'll get a resin pour mixed up. And it's going to be another 7-color pour. But it's going to be not on the burrs. It's going to be on the straight up wood pendants. We're going to give those a try, and that's probably what we should be able to then get turned start of next week. So we'll have something slightly different rather than the burr and the natural edge. It will be the cut edge on the non-burr woods that we're using. Oh. Be good to see how they come out. It's similar to what I've done with some of the earrings and things like, well, with the earrings before. So I have done similar, and I quite liked how it came out in the earrings. So I'm hoping it's as effective when applied to the larger pendants with the cut edges. There's only ever one way to find out, which is to actually do it. We've also got another set of the live edge to cast as the auroras. So I want to get the non-natural edge ones done first, see how they come out, and then do another set of the aurora casts, which will probably be one that we do next week. What do you think? This weekend is actually the Farragut North of England Woodworking and Power Tool show. It's going to be the first time I've been for the past 3 years, so it's the first time in a little while that I've not gone to it. We'll see. We might go back next year. We've enjoyed going and doing a bit of live streaming from them on the Friday. But yeah, I decided to give it a miss this year, especially since we've done like Maker Central earlier on in the year, and there's a lot of similar stuff at the events, so you can do too many of that sort of thing. So this one, we did get the resin port nice and thin. So this one should have a little bit of, which camera am I on? That one there. Let's just switch those across. Onto that one. There we go. So that is a little bit more translucent than some of them. Yeah, and this isn't even a show that I do. It's just something I've been to for the fun of going to it. It's not. It's not the sort of show I'd go to sell at. It's the sort of show I'd go to maybe spend some money at on tools and stuff, or just to see what's around and stream it. And I think after having gone 3 years in a row, it's time for a bit of a change. Especially since, you don't exactly get show offers. You used to go to that sort of show because all the suppliers would have things on special offer. Maybe it was end of season catalog stock, something like that, and you get a good deal. And that's kind of really disappeared. And I think primarily it's because going to shows is very expensive for most suppliers. And whilst it was all well and good in days before the internet and online ordering, they can't offer online prices at shows. It just costs them too much to be there. I'll just nudge that one a little bit. There we go. And that's I think that's, in a way, killed off part of what shows were about, getting the good deals. And you do still get some. If you happen to be there on the last day of the event and they've got demo equipment which they don't want to take back with them, then yeah, you can do quite well on that. If it happens to be the right thing. And sometimes, and they do kind of sell it through I've seen them definitely sell like the demo stock through the event, but you have to be able to collect it on the last day, which makes it only really viable if you're either there for the whole weekend or you're close and live close enough to where the event is to go back on the last day. What I'm going to do is, while that glue cures, I'm just going to sharpen the bowl gouge.
Oh no, not again.
So for next week, I am taking a small lathe with me for the weekend's event over in Nottingham. And I've got Friday, Saturday event the following weekend as well. I'm also taking the lathe too. So between those two, I'm going to need pendants to turn as off-center pendants and some pens to make. And I know I've already got in my box here about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I've got 6 pens. So like 6 pens could last me about a day at market, doing one an hour. I've got potentially 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 11. I've got a lot of, where's my camera? These blanks here, which I can do the off-center pendants with. And that could be the easy option, is I've already got those ready to go. I can just go and turn off-center pendants using them. Because honestly, it's not necessarily about making stock. It's about having something that I can do on the lathe to demo with. I don't massively need a lot of off-center pendants. It doesn't harm to have spares of them, though. It really doesn't. That just means that they're there for future. I can't turn any resin at the shows because it's too stringy and floaty, and there's no dust extraction. So actually, what would be really useful to turn is the things that I can't do. So I'm limited to only doing straight up wood products. The other option I did consider, though, is if I find some wood spindles, pen blank type spindles, I can turn a whole stack of miniature snowmen and Christmas trees as earrings. and maybe sell them for like a little bit less than I normally sell earrings because they won't have the fine polish finish on them and things. And do little Christmas tree and snowman festive earrings. Just because we can. I wonder if I still got some of those in one of the boxes. I've got a few boxes of things that have been done in years past and kind of put to one side and forgotten about. And one of them might actually still have a little Christmas tree on it. So I have a slight feeling I will end up making at least a few sets of those over the next 2 weekends and their events. So edge is looking fine on that. Front's looking fine. Happy with that one. My phone keeps buzzing at me. Nothing important, nothing urgent. But didn't turn the speed down that lathe though. Don't really like sanding at very high speed. It gets too hot too quickly. I think, Colleen, as well, one thing, the bigger the stock that people have, the more inclined they are to not want to take it back because it's expensive to carry and store. Ah. Let's see if I can sand that out. We've got two little air bubbles on the front. But I think they're very shallow. So hopefully... Whereas small stock, I don't care bringing stuff back. I pointedly don't do discounts at the end of shows. Just going to scrape that a little bit. Yeah, I've had people come up right while I'm packing up and sort of, oh, I've got earrings. So I get them out of the box, show them what we've got, tell them how much it costs. He's like, oh, you're not going to get a discount, it's the end of the show. I was like, no. Nope, I have literally no problem taking them away with me and bring them out next week. Asa? I think a lot of the food sellers get that a lot. End of show, they get people, oh, I've got anything left over. I just don't want it to go to waste. And so many of them actually, well, it won't go to waste because it's got a long enough shelf life. 32 months, Netkisser. Thank you for that tier 1 subscription. How are you doing today?
Netkisser just
There we
subscribed
go.
for
That's those
32
two little
months.
spots cleaned up.
Very in.
So, yeah. Does mean, so next week, Tuesday, Wednesday, um, too good to go. Yeah, I've never used it because I'm never close enough to anywhere that's selling on it. But certainly I've been at hotels having breakfast, and quite often recently I've been there like end of the breakfast session, and people have come in with too good to go and got like a box of leftovers from the breakfast buffet. More surprises to go to work had been an electrician and a good number. Now, electricians are meant to put power onto equipment, not take it off. I mean, obviously, they take out lookout when they're working on it, but they're meant to leave it with still with electricity once they've finished. They're meant to. Yeah, we only turn the stuff off. You can turn it back on when it's ready to go. You can't expect them to do too much, turn it off and on again. No. Turning the power back on wasn't part of the contract. I'm just wondering with this camera here, I should move it further across that way so that it's not a little bit on more of an angle, but doesn't necessarily need to move quite as much when I move around. So I'm kind of right in front of it, quite close in. I don't have to move far for that to be constantly hunting and following me around. I'm slightly thinking, just a little further over, and maybe it wouldn't be so movie all the time. I'm also going to have a look on Amazon at what I can find in the way of LED video lights to get something that can bring a bit better lighting around here that actually works. These were good until they stopped working, which for one of them wasn't very long at all. The light off them was really good, but they don't charge properly. I've had all sorts of issues with getting them to actually charge. A little bit meh. That's been out. There still must be a way I can get to my video on Facebook and just have the comments feed. So I can only seem to load it with the actual video running. I don't want that. What's that? It should be okay. Let's get the waxes on this. I need to get the CNC set up at some point. Look at that, it's a CNC or laser at the moment. CNC, perfect. So I've got a little block down here. Someone asked me if I could do some of the auroras as earrings. That's what this is. It's having a go at that. I need to just take the front smooth on the bandsaw down to wood and clear resin, and then bring it to thickness by taking the back down. That's the plan. And then we'll use the CNC to cut out some hearts, and then we'll use the fine blade on the bandsaw to cut out some straight drops, get them all polished up and see how they look. I'm not sure how they're going to turn out because they've got quite a thick dark bit at the back, which we kind of need. Well, we'll see. It either will work or it won't work. But the people who are asking about it, the next time I'll be at that market will be on Sunday. So I guess that means that between now and Sunday morning, I need to get the CNC set up to cut the hearts out. But they're really just a bit of CNC work and a bit of sanding. So not really a huge task to do on stream, just sort the computer out and set it off. Right. There we go, that's our light green one. Next one up is going to be a blue, then a purple, and then we'll get some tape on the back of the Auroras and get those put on as well. Just one thing while I think about it. Is there a bit of an echo on the speech now? Because that camera with the microphone that's getting the background noise is much closer to me now. I'm wondering if I need to turn the volume down on it a little bit, if it's getting maybe echoey. Can you hear two of me? Or can you just hear me on the decent microphone and just background noise on the other one? Just the one of me. CC, thank you. I tell you for the two of you. It would probably be a very faint echo, but I can definitely see the levels on the second microphone bouncing, but I do have that turned down a lot. So that's the bit where I kind of look at it and go, well, the microphone is definitely picking me up talking, but because it's only running at a very low level, actually into a stream, I have no idea how that's actually going to be affecting things. But I think people are liking having that little bit of not completely silent in the background with that second microphone on. I think they are. Oh, no one's complained yet. A couple of people have said they really like it. No one's complained yet, so I'm going to go with that as being a positive thing. A little bit of machine noise never hurts anyone. Too much, yeah. A bit. It's always good. Yeah, diverse. Hello. Now, this is interesting. That is not a first-time chat. I don't recognize the username though. I think I would because we don't get many people in all caps. Did you have a different username before, or maybe you've only been in a couple of times, maybe on a raid or something. Welcome in. It's good to have you here. Let's be here, strip back here, whichever one it is. It's always good to have people here. And new people are always good. Yeah, new people are always good. We're actually trying. We're trying this week. I'm very trying, I've been told. No, we are multi-streaming, giving it a shot. See if we get any engagement on other places. So far, the answer is no. Got to go to bed, morning shift. Fair enough. Good night, Netkisser. Thank you for that resub. And we'll see you next week. Have a good weekend. So the tape is, it's a woodworker's trick for mounting stuff. Metalworkers do it as well, I think. Basically, 2 pieces of masking tape. One piece goes on to whatever you're sticking to, holding to. One piece goes on your piece of work. And then you put super glue on one piece, acceleration on the other piece, put them together. It acts as a very good double-sided tape. Much better than double-sided tape ever works. But because it's masking tape, it peels off. It's got a really good shear strength, so it's not going anywhere those ways. Got a really good holding strength, but when you do pull it off, it peels really cleanly. So yeah, just 2 pieces of tape, back to back, and then super glue them together. And it means you're not damaging either surface of the glue. You get a really good hold, but it's a temporary hold that can be undone. The problem with double-sided tapes tends to be the way the tack can stick on them is they will have a bit of a shearing wibble, which isn't very good for turning or holding things absolutely in place. I don't know what it is about masking tape, but it's designed to stick to anything but be removable. Whereas all the other tapes leave sticky residue and aren't designed to remove necessarily. And yeah, they maybe have a bit of give in them laterally, so they're just not ideal for holding things steady. It's good to sand. So you don't play the lost music. You play it anyway. It doesn't matter what I do. Rock, you play that music regardless of my efforts. See? See? Will to live. That's what's been lost. There was a point where every stream I would lose something and spend far too long trying to locate it. I've got better at not losing quite so many things. I've improved, I think. Are you still going to be in the north, Frog, this coming weekend? Not this weekend, next weekend. Next weekend. And some beer. I mean, that would be a bad thing. That is a bad thing to lose. Thursday to the Sunday. End of the month. Oh, is that the weekend after I'm there then? I mean, or do you mean the last Sunday? Because next Sunday is the last Sunday in the month. The Sunday after is... Oh! So you're there for like over a week. I see. You're there when I'm at the market near Nottingham. Are you going to come and see me? Spend all your money on my pens and things. Have a beer. And I'm like, we're not going down there. That's Nottinghamshire. This next week and next couple of weeks, we're all over the place. Got 5 days in Nottingham, followed by 2 nights in Manchester, a couple of nights near Runcorn. I go to all the best places. Then I'm home for a little bit for a night, and then I've got a few nights near Rotherham. All the best places. Runcorn and Rotherham, that should be on everyone's bucket list of places to visit. Honestly. Then I'm home for a couple of nights, and then just to like win at Shittown Top Trumps, got a few nights in Stoke. We're going for the royal flush of places no one would ever go, I really want to go to that city. That's the place for me, Honey Room, Runcorn. Although, admittedly, there are some towns which completely blow those ones away in the what on earth are you doing going there stakes. So they are not the worst places to go, but they're definitely not like the picturesque little pretty towns. No, Nottingham's okay. Manchester's fine. Stoke, Runcorn, and Rotherham, though, are definitely industrial towns. With their own points of interest. There's also a place where once you've been to all the pretty places, you go, well, actually, there's some heritage on these places. I'm gonna try and be nice about them. Runcorn has a very nice priory that's actually worth visiting, and it's got a couple of bridges which are nice. There you go. I've said something nice about Runcorn. I'm feeling bad about myself. Stoke actually has some really good museums on the potteries. And it's right on the edge of the Peak District. Rotherham has no redeeming factors whatsoever. And unlike Stoke and Runcorn, people would actually agree with me saying that. The best thing that you can say about Rotherham is it's got a tram train to get you to Sheffield. However, in all honesty, I've still never worked out quite what a tram train is. I know what a train is, I know what a tram is. I'm confused as to what a tram train is, though. It's is it just a tram that runs on train tracks rather than it's possibly just a tram that uses tracks that a train could also use? I don't know. It seems to be a phrase that we like to throw around. Oh, I've got a tram train. What does that even mean? Yeah, that's that's a new one. No, so that would just be a train. Trams will almost universally have scenery, but lots of trains do, and they're not tram trains. It's something to do with the tram using heavy rail rather than light rail. So I think it's related to them reusing old heavy rail routes to run a tram on, rather than the more expected running a tram down the road sort of setup. I think that's what it is really. It's a tram that's just running on train tracks rather than tram tracks, probably. But yeah, and I mean, ideally all trains would run using overhead catenary, but a lot of the routes around me aren't electrified yet. Tram train type of light rail that both meets the standards of a light rail and national mainline standards. There you go. Running on streets. So basically, it's a tram that, yeah, can run on heavy gauge. That's what they've got. They've got one of them. They've got one of them. It's a fancy tram that can pretend it's one of the big boys on a real railway. Dublin. I've not seen trams in Dublin. The only thing I can think of in Dublin would be the Dart, which is heavy rail. That's not tram. I'm not saying there aren't trams in Dublin. I've not seen trams in Dublin. Dart is their commuter rail that goes kind of north-south-ish along the coast. It's been probably, well, apart from going there for a day earlier this year, I drove down from Belfast for a day. Actually going into central Dublin, it's probably about 20 years since I've been into central Dublin. Near enough. 18, 19, something like that. When I drove down there from Belfast, I didn't have to drive too far off the motorway to get to where I was going, so I wouldn't have gone anywhere near where the trams were like to go.
Oh no, not again.
Oh, yeah, don't know about Dublin. In the UK, 2 tram lines. Okay, so yeah, Dublin very similar to places in the UK then. About the only tram network in the UK that's got a lot of tram lines is Manchester. Everywhere else is just 1 or 2 lines that either go like just across the city and meet in the centre. So they aren't generally extensive systems on them. He says that, and he's probably wrong. There's probably somewhere else that's got quite an extensive, but Manchester has got the most extensive tram network in the UK. I know that much. I don't think anywhere else has got more than like 2 lines. Or 2 primary lines. The other commuter trains, other than that. Okay, so I take it we're not including, there's the Dublin to Belfast train, but that's not commuter. I know there's a Dublin to Cork route, but that's intercity as well. Yeah, the only ones I've used from Dublin, I've used the Dart a few times because that connects the Fastcat ferry terminal at Dún Laoghaire into Dublin, which is the most sensible way for me to go to Dublin. Probably head to Dún Laoghaire and then take the Dart. Oh, so you are counting that as. I'm guessing there should be an F in there somewhere. So you are counting that as a commuter. That's a 2-hour train journey, and I didn't think. See, okay, so I wouldn't call that a commuter because I always think of commuter as being a local service to the city, which has lots of frequent stops. I'd have said that the Dublin service is an intercity. The Dublin Belfast is an intercity service.
Game!
Dibs.
That's a recipe for fun!
Okay, I see what you got there then. So Northern Commuter probably only goes to the end of the short hop zone. And yeah, but so to Belfast would be intercity. Same as to Cork. Um, the SE Southeastern Commuter. Yeah, I think they've actually developed that a lot since I last used any Dublin train services. I said it's a long time since I've. Yeah, so actually, I think it would depend a little bit on the stopping pattern. So we have some routes, like Liverpool to London. You can have an express service, which is the intercity, and you can have a commuter service which stops at lots of places in between. But the commuter service you would never use from Liverpool to London. You might use it from Liverpool to Crewe or Liverpool to Birmingham or somewhere in between. But if you were going all the way through, you'd use the high speed service, unless you wanted to save like 10 quid and spend an hour longer on a train. Yeah, that's different to my experience of most of the trains. There might be ones which run like that I just don't know of, but it's different to my experience of them. I actually really liked Belfast. I've never been there. I went this year. I basically went this year because I'd never been there. Why have you stopped casting? I'll definitely go again, especially since it is, if you time it right, it's what you can do. It's a 30 quid return flight, 40 minutes each way. But I got a rental car at Belfast Airport, um, and it's only a 2 hour drive from Belfast down to Dublin, so that just made more sense than messing around with the train. But people actually go do Belfast as a day trip from Liverpool, or the other way around. There's like, I think something like eight flights each way, each per day. Belfast to Liverpool. It literally is a bus service. And being an internal flight, it's dead quick. It's security and then straight out to the airport at the other end. There's no messing around with passports and immigrations and stuff. Whereas conversely, to go by sea, the direct ferry crossing from Liverpool to Belfast is a 7 or 8 hour crossing. And even the other route which you could take, which would be the fast ferry, is Holyhead to Dunleary, which is about 3 hours, 2.5, 3 hours, I think. But then it's 2 hours to get to Holyhead, and it's 2 hours to get from Dunleary up to Belfast by train on each of those. So, yeah, a 40-minute flight works quite nicely, as that's a lot cheaper. And yeah, you can take an early flight in the morning, late flight back in the evening, and have a full day in Belfast for, well, less than it costs to get to London for a day out. significantly less than it costs to get to. I mean, I wouldn't even go to Edinburgh if it's just a day. There's no. That's a 5 hours on the train, or about a 6-hour drive, I think. And EasyJet doesn't do Liverpool to Edinburgh. Is it Logan Air? I think it's Logan Air, and they're not a budget airline, so they don't cost about 40 quid return. I'd be interested to know what the technical requirements is on crossing the border, Northern Ireland to Ireland, because there's no physical border there as part of the Good Friday, and there's no requirement for British and Irish citizens to go through any form of passport control. But as far as I know, that only extends to British and Irish citizens. Don't need to present passports when crossing the UK-Ireland border. I think technically the control still, it is the common travel area, but I think there's something about it only, because there's been whole operations recently of immigration sort of going and finding lots of people who aren't meant to, who've got the right to be in one of the countries, but not the other one. The right to cross that border is explicitly for citizens and not for non-citizens, as far as I understand. But I don't know how they effectively police that for non-citizens. Coach from London, yeah, no one wants to spend that long on a coach. 5 minutes on a coach is longer than anyone really wants to be spending. Because that's so. If you take the ferry from Holyhead to Dunleary, so the ferry is going from the UK to Ireland. When you get off the ferry, you'll likely find the guards there. Same thing the other way, you'll find the police there, just saying where you're from. They're not asking for passports, not asking for anything like that. They'll literally just say, "Oh, where you from?" And if you tell them you're from England or Scotland or Wales, that's all they ask for, and away you go. But if you're not, they will want to see your passport. So it's an unusual open border in that sense. It's open to citizens, and that's about it legally. But yeah, there's absolutely no passport. There's cameras at the border crossing, but there's no passport control. There's no no stopping point or anything like that. Yeah, there's nothing physical to stop you doing that. But I'm wondering if there are. I mean, for US passports, it wouldn't be an issue because you're allowed to be in both countries. Going to any of your provisional. It's how you travel, though, isn't it? Yeah. I flew from Newark to Denver, and that was less time it took you to travel from London to Belfast. Yeah. I've travelled from Manchester to Hong Kong, and that took less time than it takes you to travel from London to Belfast if you go by coach. Well, that was also by coach. What, you took a coach in the US and it actually got to a destination, they didn't cancel it halfway along? Yeah, so I know it's open, but I also know that there was something in the press earlier this year about a joint operation between the Garda and PSNI, looking at people who had. You can still cross it illegally. You can still not have the right to cross the border, even though it's open. And they were looking at people who were illegally crossing it because they didn't have the right to be in the other country. Belfast, I quite liked it. I didn't go into the city centre that much, to be fair. Um, the area around it, I really liked. There are definitely some parts of Belfast where you potentially may feel a little bit uncomfortable if you happen to wear the wrong colour shirt. Well, I don't think even that's necessarily. No, there are definitely areas of Belfast which still have some slight political leanings. Slight political leanings. Don't go in marching season. Well, don't go to the wrong parts of Belfast in marching season. Yes, Colleen. Yeah, that can be that can be the case. The border is open, but you may not be personally allowed to cross it to some people. And that might be as much to do with rights to work and things like that. So for example, anyone who is a European EU citizen has the right to live and work in the Republic of Ireland, but they don't have the right to work in Northern Ireland or live in Northern Ireland. Not since we left the EU, anyway. They can visit Northern Ireland with no issue. Whereas British and Irish citizens have the right to live and work in the other country. And I'm sure there will be people that would maybe have. So if you had a visa, if you were required to get a visa to visit Ireland, so if you came from, I don't know, an African country which didn't have a visa-free travel to the UK or Ireland, and you got an Irish visa, you would not be allowed to cross into Northern Ireland unless you also had a UK visa. I think that's where it more comes in. If you come from a country that doesn't have visa-free travel arrangements, you can't cross the border unless you've got a visa for both countries. So I think um, yeah, so Chinese citizens require a visa to come to the UK unless they've got a Hong Kong or Macau passport. They don't require a visa. But if you're a mainland China citizen, you require a visa from the UK. I mean, I don't know if you require one for Ireland. I don't know what their law is. But if they had travelled to Dublin and had the right to visit the Republic of Ireland, but didn't have a UK passport, they can't travel to Belfast, even though it's an open border. They would probably get away with it because the chances of being caught, especially if they're just going for a day trip, are virtually zero. Will be. We don't have an ETA system yet. Actually, we do for certain countries. It's not fully launched yet. Yeah. So, and that's yeah. There is part of the whole UK Ireland thing is that right to live in both. Let's go a little bit thinner on that edge. Are we okay? I think that's looking fairly good as it is. I'll keep that there. So yeah, I mean, that's travel on public transport. It's fine if you're fit and able to do it. If you've got any mobility issues, it becomes a lot more problematic. Even if you, especially if your issues are such that you need assisted transport, then that can become really problematic because you're kind of at the mercy of the transport company actually remembering to provide the assistance they're meant to be providing. There's definitely stories of assisted transport not bothering to turn up or at airports or not being there to help people on and off trains. Or trains not stopping at quite the right point on the platform. Where was I last year? I was somewhere. I think it's Newcastle last year. And someone was meant to be getting assisted transport onto a train. But where the trains have only got like one point, which is, or some of the trains will only have like one point, which is designated wheelchair access point. So it's got a wider door, it's got the wheelchair spaces and things like that at that point on the train in the carriage. And the train had pulled into the station the wrong way round, and that wheelchair access point was next to where the steps were coming down onto the platform, which meant that the ramp they need to use the wheelchair access wouldn't fit between the train and where the staircase was. So they were unable to deploy the ramp to get the person on the train. And there was a very heated discussion about platform staff saying, well, you can't get on the train because you can't put the ramp out. And the person who was trying to get on the train was like, well, that's crap. You need to sort this out and get me on the train because I've got a ticket and I need to be going somewhere. And eventually, station manager comes down, has words. The train driver, I think there was a disagreement between the train driver and the train guard as well. One of them was like, well, we can just move the train a little bit further up or down, just where it is. And the other was like, no, we can't. And in the end, the one who was disagreeing got told that they were moving the train, whether they liked it or not, so that they could get the person who needed the access onto the train onto it. Otherwise, there would be something of a discrimination case going on, which they wouldn't really want to be responsible for. Catastrophically, Emma, welcome in. Good to have you here. Yeah, we are working on some little, these are about 35mm, little pendants. These ones, you can't see this one there, but they've got like an aurora going on in them, colour shifting, little mountain scenes from the wood edge. Got, this is 2 more after this to turn. Then I've got a whole tray to get polished that we've worked on last night and tonight. And while they're polishing, we're going to start getting some bits ready for doing a resin pour for some more pendants. So that's diffused glass and wire wrapped jewellery. Ooh. Have you got your own kiln for doing glasswork then? Oh, nice. I know a couple of people who do glass, and they've got their own like very small glass kilns with the digital timer, so we can just set it to do the cool down. Yeah, I keep looking at using assisted travel to take my mum places, especially since with assisted travel on planes, you are allowed to take 2 mobility devices, which technically we can put mum's mobility scooter on a plane, technically. But you're just asking for things to go wrong if you try that. Ooh, nice. Presumably that runs on a full program where it takes up to heat, holds it there to diffusing, and then slowly cools it down to temp. Oh yeah, Valencia Glass. They do a lot of really nice work. Um, hmm. Someone wants to give them a shout out, maybe. Colleen, could you give Valencia Glass a proper shout out for us? Even though Catastrophic VM has already found them, still give a shout out. Met's Glass does a lot of blowing as well. He seems to have come back into Twitch recently. I think he was away for a little bit, but he's come back onto streaming recently. So these are a little bit like the diachroic. Diachroic? You know what I mean. Think up on that one. That's there to there. Yeah, that's these ones. And that's not even polished yet. Yeah, that works quite nicely. I think it's got 3 or 4 different colorways in there. So you've got that little gold bit running on it as well. These I've done. We will get them polished. We will get them polished, Frog. These I did the opposite way around to I've normally done them. So I did the clear first and then the dark back layer. And I think it has actually worked quite well. Apart from the slight issue I clearly had with not having the wood properly dry before casting the resin, which is a technique I learnt years ago. It took me years to perfect getting it just right, to have that nice low rolling mist over the hills. Actually saw that in the fields today as I was driving to pick up my mum's Christmas present actually, and this evening, and looked across to the side of me, and there was a public park with people in the fields, and it's literally like someone started a fog machine with a low rolling fog around their legs. Yeah, but cycling is low impact on joints and muscles and things, isn't it? And it's quite aerobic in use of energy and stuff. So it's not like you've got weights suddenly bouncing up and down on your joints. They're just constantly. You can get cadence up. Getting those fancy words, cadence. Oh, needed that bit was there. That was good. In fact, that was the Gibbs one from like half an hour ago, which I completely missed. Because for some reason my audio alerts are not working in my earphones. I don't know why. It's working. Audio alerts and stream not working. It not play nice. Is that next one? And on it goes. This is a proper little mountain right in the middle of it. Okay.
Oh no, not again.
Are you guessing there then? Did your bike? Oh, you had to take your bike out to get fixed, didn't you? I remember you saying you had to go into the sticks to the bike repair people. Pay for ultra cycling from Ecclefechan to. I mean, I don't know where Ecclefechan is. I'm going to assume Wales and Strathaven. I'm going to assume that's Scotland somewhere. It's either going to be Scotland or Cornwall. No, yeah. Ecclefechan's got to be Wales. Because no one else would have an F that sounds like a V in the middle of it. Is that down in the valleys somewhere? What? Strathaven is north of Gretna. It's only just across the border then. Is he taking a very scenic route, like bouncing east and west? Gretna Green was famed in the UK. It was a place that people would elope to get married against their parents' wishes. But Rally Chopper. That sounds very Radio 2. Yeah, Gretna Green is where you'd elope to. It was the first place you come to across the Scottish border, and you get married into Scottish law without the parental consents and things that young people used to require until a certain, yeah. Google Maps says 60. So where is Ecclevechan then? Because if it's only 65. No, not quite hand fasting. Just not needing the bands being read and things like that. Because it's no longer subject to the rules of the Church of England, being in Scotland. Oh, south of Glasgow. Okay, so it's all in Scotland. Yeah, on quite a few things, Scottish law and English law can be quite different. Well, yes. Scotland, Kent via Wales. Have you recommended them for a psychiatric evaluation, Dibs? I mean, that would be the right thing to do if you had concerns about your friends. Wrexham. That's not how you spell Wrexham, Frog. You'll upset the Welsh if you spell it like that. So, Ecclevechan's near... Is it? I seem to remember seeing something in the local press about him having gone through. Right, where's Ecclevechan? No, Ecclevechan's Lockerbie. So, yeah. I mean, he ought to get all the funding for just going near Wrexham, to be honest. Doing it for a good cause. Fair enough. We'll let them off. I mean, I've been to John O'Groats, I've been to Land's End. I wouldn't cycle from one to the other. Lots of people do, I know. Or walk it. Well, I guess if you build your own bike, you know how to fix it when it goes wrong. Josh, YouTube. Welcome in, good to have you here. Thank you. I'm just working on a whole load of miniature pendants. I just noticed my YouTube chat doesn't give me timestamps of when people talk. I like timestamps as I go, oh, I missed that half an hour ago. There we go. See what happens when we put the lacquer on this and get the polishy bit. Lacquer. One more after this, then we will. So once we've done this last one here, that's got to go on yet. Once that's done, we'll set the lathe up with the buffing wheels. But before we do that, we'll get our resin mold set up with 7 bits of wood. We'll get that into the toaster oven to make sure they're nice and dry and pre-warmed through and everything ready for the resin pour. While that's in the toaster oven, we'll get this entire tray of pendants here all buffed and polished. That will only take 15 minutes, something like that, plenty of time while the blanks are heating through. And then we'll get ourselves some resins mixed to do the next pour and get those into the pressure pot. Yes, all right. Okay, everything. Oh, are they going like full panniers front and back? Like, the only way I'd even contemplate doing that, Dibs, would be with an e-bike. The really big battery. Oh, they're streaming as well. What are they streaming on? They're streaming on Twitch or on YouTube or Facebook or Randomgram? Or all of the above. I assume they'll be using a service of Events Dropout and then just multicasting. Twitch, Kick, and YouTube. Starlink. Is Starlink's mobile equipment that good that you could do it on a bike? I know their fixed terminals are fine, but I thought their RV equipment for actual streaming while you're moving may not be very cycle friendly. You can get fancy equipment that will allow you to use like multiple SIM cards to get a better stream signal. There you go. That's that one there. Oh, mountain. All alone in the night sky. How cute's that? That one is really nice. I like that one. Sometimes they are unexpectedly just completely stunning. Well, actually, I expected that to be stunning, but relayed by the home single PC split stream. Okay. I mean, that puts a lot of load on your home connection, but I guess if you've got a good fiber connection, that's okay. My home connection cannot cope with multi-streaming directly. Yeah, Frog, that's you've got to get the right device to be able to use that sort of setup. There are some which are specifically designed to I don't know, there's a proper term for it when it uses multiple connections simultaneously. I can't think what the word is, but there are devices. Could be bonded. I'm not sure. It could be. I remember speaking to someone who worked for the BBC in their OB department, and so, yeah, all the bandits. No, he worked for the BBC in their outside broadcasting bits in the 2012 Olympics, and he was saying what they had that for the marathon coverage probably is bonded. They were running something like 20 3G SIM cards on their outside broadcast van to stream the live video rather than as it drove around. And that's all well and good, Rog, if they're in an area with a strong signal coverage on 4G, 5G. If you've got a Scotland and you're getting quite a poor signal, you might need more than one 4G connection. Well, 3G connection to get the bandwidth you want. No one likes people who gloat. Just saying that, Bibs. Just put it out there, you know. Symmetrical broadband would be so nice. So you can carry your pigeons to send the signal up. Just have to check here that there's no little voids on the front. This one does. A couple of little air bubbles on here. Just run some thick CA glue into that. Get those filled in. Little air blast. Everything out. Push the glue in along that line. That'll cure off and fill those for me nicely. I can just finally level that out and then finish it as normal. Not done around the edge yet, so I've still got some resin on the edges here. So after we've just taken that across the top, we'll just true up those edges before we start sanding it and finishing it. This is the last one for turning, so it will be starting getting the resin pour ready, which is good. It's past 10 now. They've just, over the past few months, been putting fibre in for Virgin O2 around here. We've not had anything offering connections on it yet, though. But from everything you see, Virgin O2 is not exactly low cost, and lots of people suggest it's not necessarily completely worth the price they ask for it. We'll see. Okay. In all honesty, if I try to stream at any higher resolution than I'm already using, my computer's not happy about it. So having a better broadband connection wouldn't really make much difference to my computer not being happy about the processing for higher quality. I think that's what was causing some of the mic issues a month or so back, was I was trying to stream in 1080p and the computer was just, no, you're doing too much. I dropped it back down to 720 and we seem to have not had the problems with the audio since then. Or if we have, no one's complained about it, which would be very unusual. Yeah, but you're in London, Dibs. You get choices. My choice will be VMO2 or OpenReach. And because we're on an exchange that only has OpenReach equipment in it, basically you don't get the local supplier deals that more open exchanges have. It's just not worth the companies putting their own equipment in here. You're on VM. What do you think of it, Frog? One element is we definitely wouldn't be wanting any. But that's for mobile then. That's not for. You're not with them for fibre broadband then. Presumably, Free don't do fibre broadband. Hmm. Turn dust extraction off. All quiet now. Lacquer on. The Vault upgrades. No idea what that even is. So that's the last bit of lacquer that goes onto there. Let that dry for a second or two. $160 a month. What were you doing to pay $160 a month for your broadband? Presumably that included like sports and films and stuff on TV services. That can't mean just the broadband price, can it? For $160 a month, I'd want someone bringing me my internet connection on a gold platter. Does it require iPlayer this evening? Absolutely, Jeeves. Okay, so Volt is a booster for having both services from the same from the same company then. That's like me getting double data on Tesco because I've got their Club Card Plus thing. I pay for 30 gig, get 60 gig. I'm never going anywhere near it. I would really struggle to be using 300 gig of data on my mobile contract. That's the last one turned. Another nice little mountain range on that one. Knock the back edges off. So what we need to do now is move that camera up above. And we need a little table. 5 PCs. Yeah, what have I got? We've got, I guess, a couple of phones, 3 laptops, although only one gets a lot of heavy use. Let's switch to that. Let's zoom that out a little bit. Fair enough. If you've got a good deal, then you've got a good deal. Right. Okay, that's better there. Right, let's have a look at these. So, going to get this one. Actually, not liking this layout at the moment. I much prefer having it on layout. That's better. So we'll get this one. We'll get 7 of our cut pieces. So yeah, these have been in a sealed bag with silica gel for over a day. So hopefully they've poached eggs. Hopefully they've had some good drying out going on. We want 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm avoiding the ones which are natural edge. I'm going to the engineered edge. 4, 5, 6, and 7. Let's go for those ones. And then the rest I'll just seal back up in the bag, get rid of what air I can, and leave those to keep drying with that silica for another time. That's pretty good silica gel. It color changes. It goes from red when it's able to absorb moisture to green when it's fully absorbed, and then you can put it on a tray in a toaster oven for a couple of hours at a low temperature, and it will recess itself. So before I do these, let's just use the airline to make sure there's no loose dust in that. So these should sit comfortably into the mold. Comfortably-ish. Just should and will are not the same. You're quite accurate. Might need to just get a power sander on that one. A couple of these are not very complimentary to my pendants. It's just that one that is. Not going to play nice. Let's get the sanding disc onto the lathe and just give the edges a little rounding over. Try not to headbutt the camera, Owen. Just load that in. Hook key. You take a little bit off the edges to get it to fit. You can't see on either of my oh, you can see it on that bottom camera there. So let's go there to there. There we go. Dust extractor needs to go back on for this.
Oh no.
Make it fit.
Not again.
A little bit more. There we go. That fits just fine now. Didn't take a lot. Let's turn that off. So these are good to go into the toaster oven. Make sure they're really nice and dry on the surface and preheated for the resin pour. They can all just sit there while we get the buffing done on the other pendants. And then end of stream, we'll mix up the resin, get that poured, put it in the pressure pot, and that'll just stay there basically until the next stream, I think. Let's get that out of the way there. Let's get this straightened out, get the buffing wheels on, get ourselves ready to do the buffing. So, you avoiding me? Camera? Rude. Twitch is monitoring your every move, Frog. Every move. Put that on straight. Let's get our, just picked it up. There it is. Alignment pin in. We'll sort the cameras in a second once I've got this locked down. There it is. Got the buffing wheel on, and then once we know where the cameras need to look, we can set them to look in the right place. One live center at the other end. I'll bring that back onto the back there. This one up here, oop, it's actually not too badly placed already. It says wiggling it madly. Let's just move out of the way. Stop bouncing. Switch those two back around. Oh, oh well. Can I zoom that out anymore? Cameras. Yeah, that's better. Right, let's start that up. Dust extractor goes back on because these can get a little bit dusty. Just when they first start up. There we go. Use that out of the way there. Right, we need load the wheels. I'm going to put the overhead filter on as well for this. So, brown, white, and wax, particularly white diamond and canuba. Must have about 20-ish of these to polish. Quarter to 11. So by the time we polish these, get the resin pour done, and that will get us to around about 11 o'clock. It's be time to end stream, head home, all that. Just go inside, find someone to raid, all that good stuff. And like I was saying, next week it will be Tuesday, Wednesday, usual time on Twitch, YouTube, and Facebook. Getting all in at the moment, getting all in. Then Thursday there will probably be fairly early afternoon. Just on Twitch, we will do an IRL heading across to Nottingham. I've not checked for setup details. I'm assuming the setup for next weekend's event on the Thursday afternoon. So, all being well, it'll be head across, get set up, just on like a GoPro stream. Slot those into me hoodie pocket. Here we go. It's either have to go in, get mounted up tonight or tomorrow. This wax layer here that really makes these sparkle. Basically. Oh, you're zoomed in more than I thought you were. Can I make you something pretty? I've made lots of pretty things. Oh yeah, I forgot. So I've got the overhead dust extractor on. that camera up there gets very shaky. It vibrates right the way through to the ceiling where that one's mounted. But there we go. It's that yellow one. I know you like pretty things, Ewok. I know you do. Oh, the pretty things. All the shinies. Frog. So smooth. There we go. These come up well. Happy with how these are looking, actually. So what I've got to do after these are all polished is just pick the 7 resin colours we're going with. Just yet. What's your timescale then, Ewok? I guess it's all about how long it takes to get the new passport for Mini Wok. Oh, just for visit. Scale a plane. It's only numbers. It's only numbers. Put it on a credit card. It's not real money then. Doesn't pay enough. I thought Mr. Ewok. Take the teaching position and then look for something better. That back view on the cameras really shows why we need to get new booking wheels for smaller ones. Tend not to spend his money. Stick. You're looking wide, how are you doing? Stick. There's someone watching this on like YouTube. What on earth is that? Was the teaching job that you got offered, teaching position, was that in the US or in the UK? But you still enjoyed it. Ah, poor headset. US. You need to get one in the UK. That's what you need. Get one in the UK. Although you'd need the visa for the right to work for that, wouldn't you? Well, you're not applying for something that was going to be based on them sponsoring a visa. Should I tell Ewok what you could be planning? Are you talking about going to Nottingham next weekend? Oil Frog's going to take me out and get me drunk next weekend. Back, knock at the door, and got distracted. Ooh. We're on to our buffing and polishing now. Yeah, Frog's going to take me out drinking. Maybe, and meeting a bearded woodworker. I'd best take my security crew with me. This is the one that's got a little bit of, like, cloudiness in the sky, but it's fine. What? Me or Frog? Oh, just a little wax. Owen! Yes, Ewok. Named a character after you in the game. Nah, Frog, you can't be offended by that. Pops up some packaged ramen. Sauteing some onion, cayenne, serrano, jalapeno, serrano. Arugula, chili powder, salt. Sounds. Isn't serrano one of the ones which we call it something completely different? I think. Might be. There are some of the herbs which have very different names in the UK to the US. Rocket, okay. Slightly peppery lettuce type thing. Yeah, rocket. Awful. Nah. Calling it rocket's good because then you can have the humorous picture of your vegetable patch with like carrots, onions, spring onions, and then rockets. You got little like fireworks all lined up. Phoenix, Arizona, year-round farmers market. You find at least 5 kinds of pepper. So is Frog still in counselling after that experience, Ewok? Now, don't tend to get a lot of people who grow peppers, but don't tend to sell the peppers. They all make like hot chili sauces out of them. So there's a lot of sauce makers who will do all the hot sauces. And generally they do grow the peppers themselves, but actually selling them as peppers, don't often see that at any of the things I go to. Yeah, I think US bread has so much sugar in it, it meets the legal definition of cake. Not that we actually have any US bread here, but it would have to be probably called cake. Yeah, it was definitely Ireland said that about Subway's breads. I mean, a lot of the time they change the recipe as well, so it doesn't necessarily go, but it's the same recipe bread that they'd use in Subway UK as they use in Subway US. But certainly, as couple of the meats and things like that, which like in the very traditional Subway sandwiches, that they just weren't allowed to use in Europe because they didn't meet food standard requirements. Fresh made naan. Nice. Although, from experience, I would definitely make sure that you're talking to the vendors and just checking out their credentials. Because I've definitely known vendors who will go and say that they're selling handmade stuff and they're not. You know they bought it from a wholesaler somewhere and just repackaged it. And you'd hope that organisers would be aware of that and stop it happening, but local Arabic farm, nice. We've got down the road from us as a traditional watermill. Say traditional. They built they had on their farm. They had a footprint of an old watermill, and about 15 years ago, I think it is, they built a brand new watermill on the old footprint, and they use it to mill their own flour to make their own bread. Get a lot of aubergine and melons from them as well. Look at that, live translation, live translation. Those under the closer camera after. But the only other thing I ever use aubergine and courgette for is making ratatouille. I'm not having you and Frog fighting over me, Ewok. Drivers outside throwing mini javelins. You sound their little cocktail sticks. It's a cocktail stick in a pub. Oh, darts aren't javelins. They've got flights on them. Javelins do not have flights. Yeah, I'd be a terrible poker player. Oh, where are your partner? That is that for look my read your comments. Darts seems such a weird choice for a game to play when everyone's drinking. Give them a little sharp pointy thing and ask them to throw it in a crowded room. No idea who he's talking about. Have you got another Owen? Is that what's going on here? There must be another one. Definitely another one. Right, that's that little green one, light green one, dark green one. How many more have we got? It's got 6 more to buff and polish, and then we'll get on to the resin pour, which is going to leave curing Mark Owen. Michael Owen. Must be Michael Owen. And take that. Oh yeah, that was one of the other 2 that no one knew. That was it. Yeah, yeah, because we were talking about take that. Was it last night? Leroy Jenk. SWK. You feeling okay? Yeah, the door is responsible, that's me. Definitely me, mature and responsible. That actually says a lot about your group if you think I'm the mature, responsible one. I have turned that down just a slight bit, not a lot. Trying to get you evicted with me mega stick. Sounds wrong. Turn it up about 12 decibels. I think I've knocked it down by about 3. Yeah, I'm feeling a little bit grim today. Just a little bit. We're fine. I'm dying, but no, we're fine. I'm surprised we haven't. I'm just going to say this, take it as a leading point if you want. I'm surprised we haven't had more snow skew recently. Yeah? All the decibels, please. Let's have it sounding like, I don't know, an A380 taking off. Or a politician talking, one of the two. They're about the same, aren't they? Move. Camera. Down a bit, so it's not under my chin. I'm going to say this booking is going to take. C5. Okay. Lightning. I'll have a lightning then. I didn't stay around that long, to be fair, Frog, because I was getting packed up and going into the house. So I assume you probably did. I'm sure I've probably been branded onto his hide. So he's just waiting to finish off the bit he was lasering, wasn't he? Right, there we go, purpley one. There. Passed on to now. Yeah, I don't actually get to watch that much of Odin because he's always starts streaming while I'm on. He usually does. And I don't really want to be up quite that late after I finish streaming, so more glasses of the kill. Nice. So it's all that you do. Sorry, is everything that you do fuse glass, or do you do any slumps or anything like that as well? Friend I've got that does quite a bit in glass. She's got into doing some of the glass paste that you can mold into like silicon molds and then fire and it burns. It's like the metal clay. It's a glass clay as well. So you can mold the clay and then fire it, and it burns away the clay part and leaves you with the metal glass. And she's been doing some really nice bits with like silicon molds. Apparently it reduces by about 4 times the size when it fires, but it keeps the form of the mold absolutely perfectly. A charm. It wasn't copper, it was copper. The copper in the black's quite nice on these. Very, very subtle, but it just gives it a bit of texture. Not as in your face as the brass and the golds are. Mixed media sculpture, jewellery, decoupage, pour painting, terrain diorama, miniature rooms, and learning pottery wheel and leatherworking. Just one or two things then. Oh, we're doing some throwing. One of my clients for my website work, she's getting all her contractors and employees and having a sort of Christmassy do. But her brother is a potter. So for our Christmassy do, we're going to his studios and doing some throwing. I've done a little throwing before. It's like turning, but vertical. And you can just start again and it goes wrong. This is the sort of effect we want to go for with the pours tonight. So all the colours I mix, I'm going to try and pour 2 colours to each pendant. Don't miss that. What? Slip casting.
Hello.
See that? Just call it ADHD. You may... But slip's like a liquid. Don't you just like pour it into the molds and then let it sit and then pour it out and have something cast? You was you you what were you doing with the slip if you weren't actually doing the casting with it? Don't like places make their own slips to do their own casting. Just crack it. Okay, because every time I've been to, like on a factory tour, and being not that far from Stoke, there are lots of factory tours of potteries. They all just mix their own slip. They basically anything that's not been bisque fired, that's not right. They just throw it back in. It gets broken down, watered into a big mixer, big tank of slip, and then they've got big hoses and just like, I suppose. So where we go. Obviously, fair enough. I was at Wedgwood Market there on Sunday, and they literally have a skip full of Wedgwood plates. All the stuff that's obviously gone through the glaze firing, and then they've gone, nah, that's not right. I think they said that once it's been fired, if it fails QA, it basically goes as hardcore material for roadworks. That is our last one on the buffing wheels. So that means just shut it off. Wow. So once you mix it, you basically just put it in like a big pouring jug and sell it like that, would you? Buy yourself a gallon of slip to do your casting, or 5 gallons, I guess. A gallon wouldn't go very far, would it? These are all the ones that we've just finished off. Five-gallon boxes. So we're really not talking about people who've got big overhead. I mean, Wedgwood, when you see them doing their slip pours, slip casts, they've got a big overhead hose with like a trigger gun on it, and a big Lazy Susan type table that the mold come around on the table and they just fill it, and then it rolls around and they fill the next one, they roll the next one, roll the next one. A world of avocado. There we go. So that is all of the pendants we've just buffed and polished. So, ooh. Let me get a light here. We've got 4 on the large thingamabobs. And we've got the 4 solid colours. It's got a bit of wax build-up. That'll just need buffing out with microfiber. So on the solid colours, the backs are the same resin all the way through. On these ones here, it's a clear front, and the back is, can I just adjust that? Can I do that on here? So they're not just straight black, they are black with the right one. Yeah. So they've got like a little bit of copper in them. Just give it a slight texture on the back. And that's one that clouded a little bit. That looks like it's got clouds in the sky. Oh, you wear fancy pants, coveralls and stuff, apparently. That does not want to sit at 0 for me. Not to worry. We'll go just slightly overexposed. That's fine. Right, so that's all the pendants. They will go in my pocket for drilling and assembly. Which means the next bit to do is get our silicon pour cups out. Magician, if you say so. I'll put them out for about, look, the next hour. If you're here in an hour, Emma, that's absolutely fine. We'll have them there. Not a problem. But after an hour, offers off the table. So that seems fair enough to me. How many times can you use the pendant redeem at once? There's an FUP on the pendant redeem SWK. which in terms of the FUP, if you try to use it lots of times at once, FU will definitely come into the equation. And the P will stand for prick at that point. Got a few camera points, 1 or 2. Love it. You never use it, do you? You just sit there and look at it. You never actually use it, I bet. No, it wouldn't damage it. It's there to be used. Right. Still got some resin sitting in that pot, which I just need to clean up so we can mix our next batch of resin. Although, honestly, thinking about it, I only need to mix about 80 grams of resin, which I can do in one of these. So maybe I don't need to clean this out right now. Let's use one of those pots to mix about. About 80 grams should be fine. 80 or 90. 100. We'll do 100. I don't need to get this sorted for tonight. Well, it does need to be sorted. I'm getting a bit closer. Now put it down. Do what you're meant to be doing. Ah. Hot. Alright, colour choices. 1, 2. Grab some fistfuls of colours. We need 7, and we want colours that I can put together to have 2-tone on everything. What was that, Ewok? I didn't quite catch that one. I mean, I have no idea what colour you'd possibly want. Right. Cerise. Let's have a bit of cerise. Bit of wine red. We don't want the black. What have we got in our yellows and greens? Glitter green. Do you want glitter green? No. magic yellow. Let's see. Golden blue. Pink is not a colour. There you go. Golden purple lavender. Let's go teal. That's 5. Let's go golden green. And do we want... That's 6. Let's go with sky blue, I think. That'll be okay. Ah. Right, so those are the 7 colours we're going to use on this pour. This one. This one. This one. Put a bit of that. That's you. This is you, Ewok. Wine. Wine red. For rosé. I assume you meant rosé rather than a rose. TTS is like, I prefer a rose. We're talking wine. You don't have a rose wine, you have a rosé. TTS. Rose by any other name. Little spoonful of each of these. It was TTS that said rose, not me. Please, Ewok, behave. I know it's an alien concept. I know behaving's an alien concept, but you can at least try. So it's going to mix about 100 grams. You then need to split evenly-ish between 7 containers. 100 divided by 7 is 16-ish. Ish. No, 14-ish. 13, 14-ish. Right, that's for pouring into. It's my mixer. So it's got some resin caked on the bottom of it. Let's just clean that off so we can actually use the mixer pedal. It had a big chunk of resin on the bottom. Probably need to print a new mixer before too long. And do this. I don't want all those chunks going into my pour pot, so I'm just going to do this to the side. I mean, only if you're actually here, Ewok. The virtual cleaning won't work. None of those have got. So what we're actually going to do with these is sort of junk went into something. The plan, there is a plan, believe it or not, there is a plan, is that these will get tipped upside down into my mold of randomness. So any excess goes into the random pen blank mold, which may or may not look good when it finishes. Who knows? It's random. It will be what it is. The mixer will just get a new one printed. When my new printer arrives. No, PLA, 3D printed. So new printer has been ordered. P1S with an AMS. £50 of each. Bamboo, yep. I couldn't justify the X1C, but the P1S, I think, is a good call. They are. It was £200 off. The X1C was about £340 off, but it was still not justifiable. And yeah, for anything that I'm likely to want to print, I don't need the extra that the X1C offers. I don't need the LiDAR. No one needs LiDAR, apparently. I don't need a better quality camera because it'll be just behind me. And in all honesty, the extra cost of the X1C is halfway to buying a second P1S. Or more likely, it's pretty much the cost of upgrading my Snapmaker CNC to a 200-watt spindle. You can go up to 16 colours, yes. Although there are all sorts of wastages and slowdowns in terms of doing lots of colour changes. Yes, the Snapmaker does 3D printing. And you can get a dual extrusion head for it as well. So not IDEX, but you can get two separate extruders, so you can run two filaments side by side, and do quick swaps for printing different support material to core material. It's comparatively so. It's got a really good print area. It's a 300 print volume. But one of the things that made me definitely pull the trigger on ordering the Bamboo was I looked at something I'm wanting to print, which is, yeah, so I've got something I want to print, which is just too big. I mean, so how I designed it's going to be too big for the Ender 3 print bed, which is a 225 bed. The bamboo's 250, I can make something work on that. And I could have printed it on the Snapmaker, but it would have taken 6 hours per print on the Snapmaker, whereas it'll take an hour and a half on the bamboo. So that's quite a difference. And that's on default settings, it'll go an hour and a half on the bamboo. That's not even trying to run it extra quick. I might have been slightly enthusiastic in how much that went in some of the first ones. It's fine. Right, let's pop that cup over to one side. Got resin on my fingers now. Ugh. BQ plate. What do you want it for? Is that for a pattern printing or BQ's an aftermarket, isn't it? Cold plate. So what's the reason for wanting that? So a cold plate will give better adhesion. Magic. It's magic, Ewok. That's all it is. Magic. You don't need to know anything more than that. It's magic. You know. You better believe that it's so. I was at 20 to 12 already. Wow, it's gone longer than I was expecting. Oh well. We are pretty much ready to pour. Uh, um, I can't see where my thermometer is. I've obviously put it back in the wrong place. So, oops. Oh, there. It's up there. Drawer above. I don't think I'm going to get 30 degrees on these today. 21, especially now they're in small pots. I mean, frog. We're going to hear it anyway, aren't we? So it's very nice of you to pretend it's an option and a choice. But we know the truth. The Ewok took the bait. There you go. Ewok. Very generous. Took one for the team, took the bait. Okay. I think frog, that might have been Freudian. Getting up to about 23. 30 would be the magic number, but if I can get up to 25-ish, get that 24, 25, I think I'll be good to do those. Let's take the lid off the pressure pot. Too cold! It is. Just generally in here too cold. So it's getting closer to 24. 30 would be ideal to... Oh, that's actually blasting up. There you go, we're on 24.3. So
Oh
I
no.
think we can start pouring these
Not
because
again.
by the time I've got the mold out of the toaster and everything, that will be going up a bit more. Ooh, hot, hot, hot. Right. So each of these is getting 2 colours is the plan. We can't go on together. We can't. Uh! Okay, it's all good. I did. Frog knows his Elvis, apparently. Clearly the pub quiz king. You work down chip shop? Right. That's one that I want to try and get a little bit more into. Is that middle one there? Or is that just floating up? That's just floating up, that's fine. Ah. Is he a liar? The man looks down the chip shop, swears he's Elvis. Make sure they're all pushed down. Give these a little swirl. Let's get that one in the pressure pot. That's fine. That. And down here. Those. Oh, let's do this. Try and get as much resin out of those as we can. They're going in the pressure pot as well now. And then lid goes on. Where did I put the lid? There's the lid. Pressure goes in. And it'll be time to end the find someone else to raid across to. So, any suggestions to the raid while I get the pressure put on this? Pressure pushing down on me. Pressing down on you. We're good. Who's on? Yeah, that's the thing. We raided Odin last night, so ideally we would not raid him again tonight. Lockwood on? Um, let's have a look. Ridge is on. Not seen her for ages. Um, Way Cool is in the hotel. By the looks. Squidge. Let's go Squidge. We've not raided Squidge for ages. And another member of the Craftsman's Guild, so that's a good call. Um, so it is SQU DJE, isn't it? Yes. Let's get that sorted. And where's my mouse gone? There's my mouse. Search raid SQUDGE Squidge. There we go. All good. On our way. So that is us for tonight. We'll be back on Tuesday. Strictly ketchup, prep, and watching some Strictly. Ooh, nah, it's Squidge. Hooray, Squidge. Get ready from Strictly, though. Get ready from Strictly. What are we doing? What are we doing to the world? Netquister was here with resub. Yeah. 32 months, was it? There we go. Thank you all for being here tonight. I've got a lot done. We'll be back on Tuesday. Until then, hope you all have a great weekend. I will see you on Tuesday. Let's go say hi to Squidge. Get ready from Strictly. Strictly. Yeah. Yeah. Strictly. See you later. Bye.